Curt Weldon is joining us, former congressman, former vice head of Homeland Security and the Armed Services Committee, an expert on Russian infiltration with the Clintons and technology transfers. There's a big article on Infowars.com that just broke. Dr. Jerome Corsi's with him right now. The congressman has to go in a minute to go to a UN meeting, I was told, but I'm glad we're doing this today now. Russian bank docs show how Putin laundered money to Hillary and Podesta. Now we know why Clinton and co. were so desperate to frame Trump with ties to Putin. So it's good to have the former congressman on with us. I know he's going to be the source of some articles in the next few days concurring with this and the background. So thank you, Dr. Corsi, and former congressman. Thank you.
Well, we're delighted to be with you. And I think it's really important to know that Congressman Weldon did a lot of the groundbreaking research in the 90s showing the technology transfer, the payments that the Clintons got for transferring technology to China. And he is very familiar with the subject of this article, Becklersburg, and how the Russians operate. And here's Congressman Weldon to talk about it.
Well, thank you. And it's an honor to be with you and be on your show.
Thank you.
And just to give you a few moments of history that I'm sure you're aware of. It's amazing that we talk about Russian influence in the presidential election. It was Bill Clinton's advisors who were sent to Moscow in 95 and 96. They actually stayed in the presidential hotel in Moscow, and they ran Yeltsin's re-election campaign. So the Russians were aware that U.S. strategic advisors were actually running the presidential campaign of a president whose popularity had fallen down to 10% and had a known drinking problem. So they knew that we basically re-elected the guy that we wanted to be the president in the form of Clinton. That was Yeltsin. Second, I was on the Cox Commission that investigated the theft of our technology by China. And I also documented and have the charts to back it up, that the People's Liberation Army funneled hundreds of millions of dollars into the Clinton-Gore campaign. You remember the famous time when Al Gore was at a Buddhist temple and there was a fundraiser and he claimed he was in the bathroom when they were collecting money for the Clinton-Gore campaign.
Yes, yes.
And I would remind people that it was two of the largest fundraising operatives in the U.S. at that time, Riyadi and Wang, got access to the Clinton White House 49 and 17 times in 1 year. Neither was a U.S. citizen, and they were the prime fundraisers for the Clinton, Gore, and Democratic campaign committees. And finally, I would add that one needs to look at the CEO of L'Oreal Corporation, Bernie Schwartz, when L'Oreal Corporation was caught transferring very sensitive technology to China. And Sandy Berger, Clinton's national security advisor, arranged and got Bill Clinton to sign a retroactive presidential waiver, which means the technology had already been transferred. Technology that our commission voted 9-0 caused serious harm to us. Bernie Schwartz was the beneficiary of that retroactive presidential waiver, so he couldn't be indicted. And that was the same year he became. Well, Dr. Corsi has shown me some documents here that are startling, involving what looked to be illegal payments to the Clintons. I'm going to talk to my associates in Russia and who work with Russia and see what else I can find out. I can tell you this hatchet job that's taking place against General Flynn, who's an outstanding American, and our president is wrong. I've remained silent for 10 years. I have 480 cases of files. I've done 100 hours of an oral history, and I'm going to start to come out now with irrefutable facts about what I saw occur, what I saw with the Clintons in lining the pockets of themselves and their friends while they left our foreign policy basically hanging in the air when they went in and murdered Gaddafi, causing much of the problem we have with immigrants around the world, when we played games in Iraq and Afghanistan, the true story of the 9/11, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I am dedicated to the true story that protected and unfortunately lost 343 firefighters in New York.
Sure, the 28 pages.
All of which you're talking about, and all of which needs to be brought forth to the American people. If the Clintons are going to try to misinform and malign the integrity of our new president, and people like you trying to get out the truth, then it's time for America to step up to the plate. I've never met Donald Trump. I voted for him, and I wrote op-eds for him in the primary and the general. But I'm not going to sit back any longer. Members of Congress know the facts that I have. They know that I've been trying to restart a trilateral dialogue with the Duma and the Federation Council, the Rada in Ukraine, and the U.S. Congress. But I'm not going to sit back and let these morons try to rewrite history when I saw what happened. I was on the Cox Commission when we voted 9-0 that our security was harmed. I have the charts that I'll make available to your show to show the PLA money going to front companies that benefited the Clinton-Gore campaign. I'll show you the charts with the Chinese nationals who were admitted to the White House 17 and 49 times in the same election year that Clinton was running for re-election while they're raising money for the Clinton-Gore campaign. You can check online and find the retroactive waiver that was given to Bernie Schwartz, the CEO of L'Oreal Corporation.
Sure. What you're saying.
We're not going to play games. I've been sitting back for 10 years, and the Clintons know this. I was his #1 target in 2006. I've got 480 cases of files. I've got 100 hours of oral history. I've got 40 hours of other tapes done by former officials, former agency people, former DOD people. And if they want to play hardball, then it's time to play hardball. They screw with my family 10 years ago. Unlike anything that Hillary Clinton experienced, my family experienced. It's time now that I'm going to say it's over. Clintons, it's time you move on. And if you don't want to do it voluntarily, then I'm going to be your worst nightmare.
And the key here, Alex, is I think we've got the connections between what was going on in the 90s with the Clintons and the documents we're getting today, these Russian bank documents, which are fully validated in the Russian newspapers and also in U.S. news reports.
Well, I understand, Dr. Corsi. Are you going with the former vice chair, or are you going to stay and talk more? Because I know he's got to go.
I'll stay and talk more. I'm here.
Okay, well, take a minute to say bye. Sir, Congressman, I know you went through a lot. Thank you for everything. Just 60 seconds, final comment.
Thank you.
You get a final comment.
Okay, I appreciate it. Let me say, Alex, during my 20 years in Congress, everything I did was bipartisan. Some of my best friends in Congress were and still are Democrats.
No, you're known for that.
Trips overseas. This is not about Republican versus Democrat. This is about America being taken back from the thieves who became wealthy on the backs of the taxpayers of this country and on the backs of innocent people around the world. That's the story that's got to be told.
Yes, sir. Well, please, let's get you on it. I'll send the crew up there with the press conference. I know this is big to have you, one of the former heads of these committees, with this information. This is very important. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.